What it do, y'all, and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I thought it would be really good to sit down just to give you guys a couple of brief updates on my life. I feel like today was a very momentous day for me personally, and I finally felt like I could sit down. I had the breath and kind of the relaxed manner now that a couple of huge hurdles I have passed in my personal life, and I want to share it, like I said. So I don't want to make this too long of an intro. If you are interested in hearing a little bit more about me and what I've been up to in the background, then let's get into it.
The black man. Santa Claus the black man, and I found out that's what I'm telling you.
Hey guys, so today has been a whirlwind for me. By the time this video has gone up, I'm sure it's been at least a couple of days at minimum. So I'll be able to kind of really be able to reflect. But I graduated today. So as you guys know, I've been in yet another degree program. It's just kind of how the cookie crumbled. And let me work. I'm just going to kind of put on makeup. I'm not going to talk about the products. So just check out down below in case you're interested in like particular products that I use. And if you're wondering, yes, I do have eyeliner on my lower lash line. I wore makeup earlier today to my graduation, and I just kind of quickly removed it with a makeup wipe because I was exhausted. But anyways, so it was kind of a very unplanned program. Like, I did not plan to do this program at all. It was not in my life plan. And even though it wasn't, and even though in a way I felt forced to make this step, to do this step so that I could kind of do what I want to do, I'm so thankful that I was able to do it. This program was so helpful personally for me in honestly a plethora of ways. I can't even list them all. And I'm so thankful. It was felt like rough, not in a bad way, but it was a challenging year and a half. I started this program thinking, oh, it's only a year and a half. I can get through it. No big deal. But it was definitely challenging. It's definitely rigorous. I mean, the workload is definitely, it's not something that you can kind of just pass off. And this last semester, it really felt like the workload picked up, at least because I can be a procrastinator in some instances, and I was procrastinating some things until quite literally, the last semester. And it all just kind of came at a head, and that it wasn't cute. It was not cute at all. But like I said, I'm just so thankful that I was able to complete this program and hopefully, move forward in my respective field. And the best part for me with this program is I kind of personally on the back end decided that I needed to kind of pivot in my career. And this program not only would have worked with kind of my original background, if you will, but also it worked great in this pivot. It was just, it's been a phenomenal program. So I'm just, like I said, I'm just so thankful. And now I feel like to an extent I can kind of breathe. Now, with ending a program, you then have to deal with student loan forgiveness and paying them back and like all of that stuff if you choose to pull out loans or have to pull out loans for your respective degree. And of course, if you live in the US, you know how expensive universities are, and it doesn't get any cheaper once you get to the graduate level. So there is that. And you also have to factor in in state and out of state, and if it's a private institution, a state institution. There's just so many things to factor in when it comes to financially the obligation of going back for a degree. But for the first time, it feels like for me, this degree is actually going to be worth it. I'm not going to sit here and say that my others haven't. And if you did not know, I have 1 bachelor's and now 2 master's degrees. I'm not going to sit here and say that they weren't worth it, because I think everything has led to where I am now, and all of that background that I had from those 2 other degrees genuinely did help me to get through this degree. So I'm not going to sit here and say that they weren't helpful, I shouldn't have done them, whatever. But this is the first time I can see a direct correlation from my degree and my actual potential job. I am actively applying to jobs, as one does as a recent grad. And, we'll see what happens. I'm trying not to stress over it, but, my life plan has already been messed up. And so I'm already kind of a bit frazzled on that. And so, bringing that into the conversation in my head, at least, and just kind of thinking about, okay, how to move forward from here. It's just always so interesting. Always so interesting. I'm using almost all of my Makeup by Mario products. I'm sorry to jump, but I don't remember using this cream stick all that much. I remember using it and saying it was fine, but I don't remember it being this close to my skin tone. And I feel as though a lot of these cream bronzers that were kind of close to my skin tone, I genuinely have to try again, because I'm doing a lot better this year, I feel like, with matching myself when it comes to foundations. But anyways, so yeah, I just feel like this was the one degree that I have completed thus far that I actually can see a hopeful career path from. And I'm so excited, so thankful. There's so many people in the background that really help students get through their degree program. Specifically for me, my family, they have helped tremendously, in my opinion. And I'm just so, so thankful that, they're in place to help me, but also that we as a family kind of are at a place where we can lean on each other. It's just been very, very nice. And I'm genuinely, eternally grateful. So yeah, like I said, I am looking for jobs. So we'll see how that goes. I am excited, but also nervous, right? Because you get this education and you're like, okay, now I can go out in the world and I can do this. But then you're like, well, can I do it? Am I going to be good? Or am I somehow going to not be able to correlate all this education to the practical field? Like, am I going to mess up? Am I going to make huge errors? Stuff like that. It can be nerve-wracking, especially if you're transitioning fields later on in life, which I technically am. I don't know if people would even consider me being 29 transitioning late in life. And who knows, by the time I upload this video, I might actually be 30. But either way, I think it's just I don't even want to say the principle of the matter. It's just, I don't know, it just feels right. It feels so right. And so I wasn't then, but I'm honestly eternally grateful that I got COVID. I am. I think that was not the place, the path that I was very close to being kind of completed and going down. That clearly was not the path for me. I would have never had this experience, had the current opportunities that I'm having. And honestly, I wouldn't have been able to sit here as often as I can and talk to you guys. And as kind of jokey, hunky-dory as I had originally started this channel, and even, the predecessor of my blog, this has been a very stable and rewarding hobby. It's been expensive. It has been expensive, mainly because of how I've looked at the hobby and my personality. I just like to try things. I like to collect things. It is in my personal aesthetic, my vibes. But this has been so rewarding just to sit here, like I said, as often as I can and talk to you guys about makeup. I don't have a lot of people in my life that I can talk to about makeup or, understand the genuine desire, the genuine curiosity to try this, try that. And then of course share my opinions. Like, who am I going to share my opinions with indie brands? I know I don't have those types of people in my life. And so being able to not go down the path that I originally thought was for me, and now being under this path where I've still been able to, talk to you guys, be a YouTuber, all of that stuff. It means something. It means something. And I mean, I've been able to really go somewhere with this channel. Like, I never thought I would be where I am right now when I started this. I genuinely never did. And it's fun. It's rewarding. Bada bing, bada boom. But I also really, the reason, like I said, I graduated, and for me, the reason I'm really doing this video is because it was so interesting. I actually ended up being a commencement speaker of the numerous commencement speakers that we had in our graduation ceremony. And it wasn't until I was on that stage and even really hearing people speak about, your next steps and how to do this and how to do that, as they tend to do in the actual commencement speeches, that it really clicked. Like, you're graduating. You're going to be back in the workforce, at least temporarily, maybe permanently. We'll see how it goes. And I don't know. It just felt nice. It felt nice. And like I said, I just felt like this was the one degree, not only that I see an actual career path, like straight from graduation, but it also just felt like this was like kind of one of the most rewarding and heartfelt degrees that I've earned. I mean, I worked. At one point, I had 2 part-time jobs. I was going to school full-time. I was doing YouTube. I was doing this. I was doing that. I worked during this degree program. I worked for my grades throughout the program. Like, I worked for it, and it was truly challenging. It wasn't one of those things where I was annoyed to have to, sit there and write these 30-page papers, as was happening with my previous degree program. I wasn't able to really, well, I did, but I wasn't able to put off, things too much, because at the end of the day, they were due, and you had tests, you had exams, you had to learn this material, not only for you, but for your career. And so, yeah, I feel like this is my little testimony that sometimes when things go wrong and you're not feeling it, they went wrong for a reason. And it really has hit me sitting here thinking about potential next steps, all of that, that my life went wrong for a reason. And I'm eternally grateful. Eternally grateful. Yeah, I really am. Now, I will have on the screen, hopefully at some point, a picture of me at graduation, just so that you guys can see. And yeah, I did, like I said, I did my makeup. I pretty much did very neutral makeup. I didn't want to kind of shock and awe everybody, because I don't really wear makeup on the day-to-day, especially when I'm in the thick of things. Like, I'm tired. I want to get straight out of my bed, get ready for the day and go about my day. I don't really generally take the time to put on makeup, do this, do that, and I hope that there's a point in my life where where I've got such a routine down pat that it's not a big deal to, add putting on makeup in that routine. But during this program, like I said, it was mentally challenging. I was genuinely challenged. And that's what I've been trying to get, not necessarily out of an academic program, but out of a career. I've wanted a career that is going to force me to do better, force me to elevate myself, and constantly challenge me. Constantly, I see new things every day that I go into the office. And I think I've genuinely found that. Now, is it going to be an easy route and road to get to the ultimate kind of spot that I aspire to get to? No, it's not going to be easy. Not at all. But, but I think it will be rewarding enough that I will be okay with it. And that ultimately is what I've been after. I just didn't know that it was going to force me to go where I think I may go. And I know I'm being super vague, and it honestly has nothing to do with like protecting myself or anything like that. It's mainly just because I want to kind of hold that to me, right? I want to see how I go, see where it goes, see what jobs I get, all of that. And I'll continue to take you guys along for the ride as I've done throughout, all of my degree programs. Well, actually, no. You guys have only been through 2 of my degree programs with me. If you've been here long enough, which quite a few of you guys honestly have not. A lot of you guys are new from like the last 2 years or so. So, yeah, you guys have really mainly been seeing me through this last program. And, once again, that's a reason why I was just so sporadic during Swagmas this year. There was so much going on, right? Because you have to apply to new jobs, which is not as easy as it used to be. Okay, where's my primer? Applying to jobs now, every job wants a cover letter. Every job wants a resume. Every job wants you to do an online application. And then once you get through the first step, they want you to do a paper application. It is just step after step after step. You have to do 2 and 3 interviews, all of this. And it's just, applying for a job is a job in itself, which is why a lot of people, I feel like, to an extent, end up staying in these jobs they don't actually like for years and years, because who has the time? Who has the time? Especially if like your first interview is a phone interview, it's of course going to be during their hours. Well, typically their hours are during whatever hours you're working. So you either have to take off leave, which depending on your job, you may not get leave, or you have to be kind of low-key shady and take an interview during your lunch break or whatever. And it's just so much. So I just had all of that stuff going on personally for me. And I've been trying. I'm never the best at this. And people who've known me personally for even a year will tell you I overwhelm myself with way too much. I try every time. I keep trying to do better and like not doing it. And I find that I still do it. Even with this program. I started with just doing the program and doing 1 part-time job. That was 1 semester. Then second semester, I ended up doing 2 part-time jobs and the degree program. Then this year, I went from that to only 1 part-time job, volunteering, doing this, doing that. And I got overwhelmed towards the end. Like I said, I got overwhelmed. I also was taking additional courses through an online university just to prep me for a potential, last step in my academic career. And that wiped me out. It wiped me out. And so, like I said, I was just trying not to completely overwhelm myself this month with doing Swagmas, even though I love doing it. I love giving you guys kind of the highlights of the year, because sometimes this is the point where people have the time to watch YouTube, and this is the perfect time to tell people these are the things. If you have the money during the holiday season, pick them up. Or if you don't have the money, it's okay because they weren't worth it. Or these were the things that I genuinely missed this year that I didn't take the time to pick up, and I wish I did. Or these are the things, even if you missed them during the year, it is okay. And so that's why I wouldn't say I was kicking myself, but I was kicking myself over, the couple of missed uploads that I have had thus far. But now that this program is over, and even if I do get a job, sooner rather than later, it's still going to take them time to put me on, the HR and all the payroll and all of that. So theoretically, I can really dedicate myself to my YouTube, working out, because that needs to happen. Some other things, for the rest of this year, at least minimum, which would be nice. So I'm really hoping to just take the time to do some really good content for y'all and for myself, get that up for you guys. And like I said in a post, which would have been yesterday for me right now, I will be doing a couple of double uploads to kind of make up, but also just so that you guys get the content. Like, I genuinely want to get this content out to you guys. I just did not want to overwhelm myself. So my whole thing was just not to completely overwhelm myself, adding, of course, too much to priority to my channel, at least this month, at least prior to, of course, graduation. But like I said, I have now officially graduated, so I'm gonna dedicate to do my absolute best to get you guys a couple of double uploads if I can on certain days, especially if like the content is short, or even if like one video is short, one video is long. That could be nice. So definitely stay tuned for that. And yeah, I'm just going to try to work on some of those videos that were just a little bit more time consuming in the type of way that I want to present it to you. And I just didn't have the time. I didn't have the time to do a whole bunch of B-roll and sit here and talk to you guys about whatever the topic was. Specifically, what comes to mind is I know quite a few of you guys really want some more in detailed look at like my foundations and my bronzers. And I want to do that. I want to do swatches and like really give you guys some overhead content. But that was just going to be too much for me to try to do while I'm actively, trying to graduate. So that's stuff that I'm going to aim to get done if I can. Towards the tail end of Swagmas. So I genuinely hope that Swagmas hasn't been too boring or disappointing to those who've been really just kind of waiting for that type of content. I hope that what I have provided for you guys has been interesting. I've tried to, like I said, limit if I didn't feel like it was going to be interesting to myself to watch. Like if another person had posted it, I didn't post it. I'm really want good quality content. I don't want to just post a video because I said I was going to post a video every day in the month of December. And sometimes I feel like I can get into that position where I feel, oh, I just got to put something up. And it's like, no, put good quality content up. And even if you skip an upload, you skip a day, it would be better for you and for your followers in the long run. So, yeah, that's pretty much been what's going on with me. Just genuinely trying to get through it day by day. And I think I'm not doing half bad. So I think I'm going to go ahead and finish up my face really quickly. Not much to do now. I'm just going to do my mascara, lips, and I'll probably do another round of setting spray, and then I'll kind of round this video up because I feel like at this point I'm just kind of rambling and no need for anybody to hear all of that. So yeah, like I said, I just wanted to come on here and just literally talk to you guys about a couple of different updates. Not a long video, hopefully, but yeah, I'm just very excited and hopefully motivated, enthusiastic for this potential new start to a career that I think will be really beneficial and really rewarding internally for me. It'll be challenging, all of that. And that's all I could ever ask for in a career, regardless of, how much money it takes me to get there, or even for me personally, how much money I'm making once I get there. It's truly about enjoying what I'm doing daily to allow me to literally get out of my bed every day to go to work. And I genuinely think that I have found the place to do that, in the field to do that. And I can't wait to share it with you guys once I get there and once the ball continues to move forward in that direction. So I hope you guys enjoyed this really quick get ready with me. And if you did, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, I would love for you to go ahead and subscribe to join the swag club, the swag fam. And with that said, that's all I got for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye guys.